Good afternoon, everyone. I won't take long. I think we have a long day. Firstly, let me pay my respects to all the customary and traditional leaders of this beautiful land we stand on, past, present, and emerging. All the ministers who are here, our vice ministers, members of parliament, distinguished guests. Thank you. I would like to start by saying that the environmental regulatory approval that any investor or developer wants to seek in Papua New Guinea is the prerequisite that you have to. You are required to seek or get approval on before you go and secure approvals from the industry, other industry sector agencies like DPE, petroleum energy, or mining for that matter, MRA. So, in terms of our regulatory requirement, the Environment Act gives prominence and precedence to all the regulatory approvals that happens in the country, and it goes for all projects that have been developed. So CEPA plays a very important role in this area. And most often, we engage as much as possible with the investors and, of course, with our sister agencies to make sure that we are doing the right thing to get those approvals across the line. So, many of the major projects that have gone through this process over the years, we outlined there. Of course, there's one or two worth mentioning. Octeri, our own PNG mine, we know the story, the long story, all the issues that happened with Octeri. Since 2018-19, Octeri has an Environment Management Act of its own with CEPA regulates. And I think that's a plus. We have to be happy of that for the country to recognize this. So Octeri operates under its own environment permit now. Yes, we are able to approve Foundation LNG in a record time when government was pressed for necessary economic funding to fund the budget and everything. So that approval was granted in a record time of 6 months. And our normal process for that process will take almost 10 to 12 months for an approval to be granted. And that is the environment permit approval and the ministerial approvals that come with it. But at this stage, we're dealing with Kanantu mine, which is also going through an expansion program that we had earlier on today, this morning. And they're building on additional tailings dams, tailings facility dams, and all the works that's happening. Of course, we are working with the Mine Safety Inspectorate, and that's a very key mandate from MRA that CEPA has to align its approvals with. And much of the work that we do, we must work in close consultation with Mining Department, MRA, and of course the DPE to make sure that we align our approvals to be able to grant those approvals when they are at the door for the investor to come in, for them to operate. Again, Pogara mine, in the recent months or weeks, the previous environment permit from Barrick has been transferred. It's been transferred to the new Pogara Mine Limited. And that is where they are, and they're eager to start operation within the first quarter or second quarter of next year, but they will start within the next week coming. Now, our assessment, technical assessment process of approving EIS and impact statement applications or permit applications that come before the Director of Environment is a highly tedious process. We do engage with external independent peer reviewers and consultants because the documentation and the reports that the proponents submit, they're highly technical. And CEPA does not have in-house capacity to be able to equally provide that technical advice to our Environment Council, nor the Director of Environment to make those approval decisions. So as much as possible, investors who intend to come in, you should be aware that we must engage with, of course, internationally experts who are out there within the region or outside of the region, who are equally capable to provide that advice to CEPA and the Director. In recent weeks, with the Papua LNG project, we've been engaging with external peer reviewers. Of course, Total Energies, they had this done by NSR, their EIS submission, and ExxonMobil for the downstream, they had the EIS done by Coffee's Tetra Tech. And CEPA is engaged with Cardno ACL, who are now Stentec. Stentec has taken Cardno ACL, taken over Cardno ACL within the last, I think, 12 months or so. So that is where we are. And at that level of expertise, we are able to then get equal or the level of the recommendation on the reports that have been provided by the companies to be able to get those technical details clearer for us to make that informed decision when the time comes for the approvals to be granted. Well, we're hoping that with the government's timeline, that environmental approval for Papua LNG should kick in at the end of first quarter next year to start the financial investment decision. Of course, some of the projects in the country, especially on the mining side, with the country and what we have done, you know, we have a number of deep sea tailings placements in the country. And PNG is a country that has managed to approve those systems of tailing system, and we are managing to monitor and continue to report on them. And all the operating mines that are here, they continue to operate under the permit that they hold for those projects. Yes, there may be many criticisms or talks in the world today, but for PNG, we have been able to manage this and live with these projects. And I think that's a plus for all of us. But in all good faith, we have not had any catastrophic events or disasters that happen to these systems that we are operating. And again, for projects like Lihir and Simberi to be operating effectively, I think it's a plus for the country. Of course, Woodluck under construction, they'll also be using the STP system, and Wafi Golpo as well. We also have the terrestrial tailings storage facilities programs like Hidden Valley we had earlier on this morning, and of course Kainantu again today. They are both small mines, but they are operating a system that's operating in the well, despite the geotech and all the landslips and the environment that we live in PNG. So again, we must give credit to these companies because they continue to operate. Again, we work with Mine Safety Inspectorate from MRA from time to time to make sure that these operations are operated to the standards that they are required. And again, it's a plus to the companies who have been operating these facilities. Feeder River is waiting approval. They're also talking about tailings placement. So that's been looked into, and a decision will be made soon. The other projects that we have in the country, Pogara, Oktedi, they are using riverine tailings system. Pogara, again, they will still be using the river system to dispose the tailings. Oktedi has been and continues to do so. Now we heard from the CEO himself, the board has made a decision to build a tailings storage facility, so we'll see how that goes in the years ahead. But for Oktedi, with so many issues in the past and everything, yes, there's a lot of improvements now, and the way forward looks bright. So that's good news. In the oil and gas sector, again, we have the Foundation LNG project which is operating. With the Papua LNG, ExxonMobil will also operate the downstream facilities, the plant site. So they have submitted their EIS. That's before our director for approval, and that's undergoing technical assessment now. Of course, it's a brownfield because we have the current Foundation LNG project is operating at the same site at Cochin Bay. Our public hearings consultation process have been complete, and by early next year, we should be able to bring the agenda to the Environment Council. Likewise, for the upstream, Total Energies, their EIS assessment is almost 80% complete, and that will also be ready for the council to meet and take a decision on come first quarter next year. For Kutubu, Santos is going to be putting an FSO down in the Gulf. They want to dismantle the Kumul terminal. So that's something new for the country, and we are looking at it. And there's an amendment permit application before our director. And when that decision is taken, we're pretty sure Santos will be able to operate the FSO facility down in the Gulf. Again, we don't know how this is going to operate, but there's going to be a lot of work in that area. So we are working with DPE and Kumul Petroleum to see how that gets along. Pasca E1, they've got the regulatory approvals. Now they are talking about a gas agreement come next year. So as soon as they get the agreement, most likely they will start. And we'll see how that goes. To wind up, I just want to say that we have faced many challenges in terms of our monitoring programs, monitoring some of these. Some of these projects are very high-tech in nature in terms of the tailings management system, the monitoring requirements that need to be done every day or every month, weekly, year in, year out. These programs are very highly intensive. And the challenges that we face as a regulator is we don't have readily available funds to do. And this is one area that we are stuck, but we do work with the operators to see how we can get these things going forward. But I think in the near future, we are looking at some regulatory reforms. That's going to happen starting next year. Regulatory reforms meaning in terms of the current regulatory system will need to be reviewed, and we need to have a new system in place. Of course, we are looking at biodiversity offset policy that's going to come on very, very soon, which the Prime Minister has always been alluding to in terms of PNG's acceding to the COP and the leadership in the environment arena in the world. We need to establish 30 to 40% of our rainforests and our blue oceans to be conserved. So that policy is going to come in soon, and we'll expect operators and investors to comply with. I'll leave it there, and thank you all. Thank you very much.